All right, so I'm going to just do a little experimental drawing here. If you see there's a X here, that's from clicking this X button and dropping a point. And so I'm going to delete that, and I'm going to show you why that's on my template file. On the template file, I input a point at the absolute location of 0 and 0, and I hit OK. Now I know that on the coordinate geometry or Cartesian, however you want to follow that along, it's 0 and 0 is right here. And then I'm going to try and draw up here, but stay close to the center, because I've heard people say if you import something, it'll import to the 0, 0. And also, if you're too far away from the 0, 0 and you're modeling things, sometimes Chief has issues. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start with exterior wall. And like Dan Bowman always says, start right click, drag your mouse. And and then when you let go, you right click or you're holding down the right mouse button. Then as you move your cursor, I'm not touching the mouse buttons at all. It's ready to draw. It's locked on to the previous wall. So that's kind of cool. And I want this to be 16 feet wide and 12 feet in depth. So the next thing I'm going to do is auto exterior. So this wall is going to come back to 16 feet. And this wall is going to come back to 12 feet. All right. And to get rid, so I can either keep these dimensions as they are, or I can delete them or hide them. I can turn their layer off. Like if I clicked on here and at the active layer display options, a lot of people call it ALDO, ALDO. Dims is high. And so if I just click that, they go away. But actually, I don't want them. So I could just click and delete, or I can go to edit and delete objects and then find dimensions automatic and hit delete. So in my template, I have build roof already selected, and that's why it threw a roof on here. But it looks like it's also including, let's see. I don't need overhang area. Watch how that disappears. Yeah, very nice. That's the look I'm looking for. These automatic labels pointing down, what they are doing is reading this roof plane area. And we're going to open that. So my default for that is 6 and 12. So I think what I'm going to do, drag this over here. Oh, come here, you. Well, whatever. It's on one side and this one's on the other. I'm going to change the roof pitch on all these by grabbing the walls, opening the wall objects, and let's see, where do I go for this? Roof. Yeah, so the default on my template plan is 6. So I'm going to make it 8 because that's Chief's default out of the box. And that changed the roof already, because now if I double click this, it's already an 8. So if you see how I did that, each roof plane sits on a wall and the wall can direct what happens. And if you have auto build roof on, then any of those changes are done automatically. And here's how we're going to proof that. On the right, I'm going to double click this wall and I'm going to call it a full gable wall. So there is no pitch. And what should happen, if it works right, is this ridge will extend all the way out to here. And there won't be 2 R1s and 2 R2s. Let's see, like over here, we're going to get an extra, we're going to get 2 R2s and 1 R1. And the roof area should stay similar because you're just dividing this amount of area and giving it to these two. So that 329.04 should stay the same. Let's do it. Okay. Boom. See? So now we have, and I wonder if this is joists or rafters. I don't know. I have to look at this. Which way do I want to see this? I don't think I've told framing to be on. I don't know. All right, so it has framed the rafters. And the joists. So in real framing world, this joist here would be doubled, and then little blocks would be put across this way. I wonder why Chief doesn't do that. That's how you name it. Okay, Major Pain. Let's do this though. I want to be active in this window. Go over here to build framing and build all framing. And I don't really want to see it because I'm on the architectural plan. So I don't want to see it in this current view. So if I want to actually see it, I would go to framing. Well, I would have thought that, but oh, well, I've got wall. Okay, never mind. Never mind that. I have walls. Yeah, sure. Where is my framing? I'm gonna turn it all on. Oh, well, okay. See, some of this isn't on. Ceiling joists, rafters. Oh, and I don't like how they do that. While we're at it, we're going to put in a framing reference point. I'm going to put it right here. Actually, no. Actually, I want it right here. Yeah. Text framing, sure, whatever. I have 2 framing points, or I want that one gone. All right, so there's framing reference point. Well, that did clean up a lot. That definitely put the jacks a little better. And they kind of look like they line up like they're supposed to with the... What is that? That's a joist that's not playing nice. Huh. Yeah, you can't have the joists directly underneath the rafters. Sorry, guys. It doesn't work like that. Sure. So what I need to do is go to 3D for a second. Wow, they did wall blocking. Excuse me. They did wall blocking. It's a 9-foot wall because my default is set at 9 feet. And this joist is correct, but these are not. So what is that joist? Yeah, I'm going to have to highlight all these. Leave that one. Highlight that one. And then we're going to transform replicate, move X minus 1.5. And the reason why I was checking was I looked down here. This is a new feature in Chief, is your XYZ. I don't even remember what AutoCAD used to call it, but it's like a boom, look at that. That's how you joist this thing. And then this joist against the wall, yeah, it can be up under the rafter if the rafter's at the wall, because it's also being nailed into every one of these studs or plates or however you frame this. In fact, we need to go look at that because a normal person wouldn't necessarily frame it like this. They would, let me close out of this. Or maybe I can bring this here. Okay, so now we have 3 windows. what you could do is tell this wall, whoops, come here you. Tell this wall to balloon frame, and that would be here. And if its auto framing is on, then this should change right here. Ready? Boom. Well, why doesn't it frame up? Let me make sure. Well, so it shows it this way, but oh, there may be an attic wall sitting out in there. Nope, no attic walls. Oh, I know what it is. Now you have to build framing for this wall. That part's not necessarily automatic. No, I just want to see it over here. There's what I'm looking for. Yes, way to go, Chief. So when you have automatic framing on, it should have done this. I shouldn't have to go down and highlight the wall and then tell it to do that. But anyways, I'm getting distracted already. The purpose of this is to pick a wall type, siding lap. Okay. Then pick a wall type. And we're going to go exterior siding T111. Okay. And then over here, I'm going to go I'm thinking. Why would it be 2x4? Oh, yeah. Because normally the brick. All right, hold on. I'm going to leave it lap on both sides. And then on the gable side, we're going to go brick. And in Texas and other places down south, usually you're building with 2x4 walls. But I'm going to go with 2x6, brick on the outside. Boom. So now I've done that. It's still 16 wide by 12 deep. And let me pick this so I can mouse around. Now, let me put this on a slab. Let's create the downstairs. Build foundation. And we're going to, normally I do walls with footings for crawl spaces, but we'll do a monolithic slab. Slab thickness, yeah, 4 inches, perfect. There won't be a garage curb. It's monolithic. I'm not gathering. I don't know. Slab footing. Let's do that. That's a really big footing for such a small building. I don't know. Let's see what this does. I'm hoping it puts a 5.5 inch brick ledge. We'll see. Look at that. It's got a brick ledge. I wonder if it lets you dimension in, well, I don't think it does in 3D. I can try. Nope. But that's okay, because this would be foundation, right? There's the brick ledge. I can measure this. We'll see what Chief does. 4.5. Well, that's wrong. 4.5 inch brick ledge. That's weird. So around the country, there's different things. In Tennessee and Kentucky, their brick starts sometimes right at the ground level or a little below, and their brick ledge is part of their slab foundation, but it's down low. Then I heard of a great idea where you do footings first before you do like your CMU block and stuff. And you can actually set your, if you want brick, you can set it all the way down on your footings and it's got a stable surface. And when I was framing in Texas, when we had to do our own forms, This would be your outside form board, and then they would just nail a 2x6 flat into the inside of the form board, and that created your brick ledge. And you always had like 6 to 8 inches of exposed slab above the ground. All right, let's go to, let me just try something here. I want to tell it to always go to the foundation. Yep, good, okay. I want to go to this, and this should always go to the first floor. And we're going to put a door in here. And we're going to see if the door routine works. Yes, it does. So I paid Alaskan Sun to create a, what do you call it? A macro, because I want to have 3068. I've had people tell me, oh, I ordered a 30x68. And this is how I've always seen good plans. They always differentiate. Or you could have 3-0/6-8. And then the second part of this is it tells you the door swing. If your spine is put against this door when you're standing in it, whichever arm swings the door open is the way the door opens. So that's a right swing door. And Chief has a, let's go there. This right here, hinge side. So there you go. And of course, it isn't here yet because we need to frame this wall. Man, I had some good soup, and it is causing me grief. Build. And, oh, they're going to put headers in. Nice. Let's see where they go. Sure, wall. Sure, whatever. Oh, wrong. I didn't want it on this drawing. That was the problem. I assumed I was in the other drawing. So you go to you highlight the item you don't want to see, and you hit the Aldo and you uncheck it. You never delete. Never delete. What is it? Ceiling joists? We're going to hide that in the plan view. Roof labels. We're going to hide those. Okay. So there's brick on the front on a fake brick ledge. So I got to figure out how that works. The door is showing an actual header above it. So I'm going to go, oh, and look, it's way at the top. So let's open the door and go to framing and tell it that you want the header at the top of the opening. And we're using that's heavy duty. We don't need it that big. Up here in the Pacific Northwest, I can get one board that's 3.5 wide by 7.25 solid timber header. But in some places, you're going to have to build them up with 2 boards nailed together or sandwiching a piece of 1/2-inch plywood. So those are your options. Let's hit, oh, and I don't want this door. Wow. What a crazy door. Let's go to the library. It used to be broken, but now it works perfect. We're going to want something like this. There we go. Not sure if you'd want a lever or a knob. Probably a knob on the outside of a building, because you could put a pipe on that lever and just break it right off if you wanted. So that's going to be under hardware. Exterior handle knob, interior handle knob. I love levers, but not on the outside of buildings. Okay, so now this needs to be reframed again. So I'm going to go over here, going to hit frame. No, I don't want it to turn on this layer. I want it over here. Look at this. Let's get this thing going. Where's the, there it is. Mouse orbit camera. So that's not bad. That's a lot of vertical space having 9-foot walls. Okay. And that even cut the concrete correctly. That's good. So the brick will stop and go up, and you'd have to have some kind of antifreeze or some way of having the brick end not exposed. Cool. They got lookouts cut in. The ridge. That's another thing. I've seen guys that they'll stop their ridge at the wall, and then they'll just build these ladders with a block on each side, and then when they get to the top, they'll just nail them together. But if you do that, you run the risk of your overhang being in a different angle or it just looking out of whack compared to the ridge. So be smart, know your overhang, and notch out a 3.5 inch part so that this is all part of the ridge, and then it will support this outer part better. Let's see how accurate the framing is. I've never cut joists with a slope angle. Normally what I would do is I would come up square, and then if it was going to stick out of the roof, then I just nip off that little bit. I don't know. It's just how I did it, because I could just put a speed square. Actually, I'd make a tail pattern, but it'd be a joist pattern. And this is weird. These tails are 2x6 or 2x8 or whatever. We would never do that. We would, well, if you're using 2x6s, you run them straight through. But then I have a 2x6 tail pattern, so I would trace it out and cut part of this off just to get out of the way. None of this is providing strength, this big piece of board down here, so you might as well cut some of it off, because you've already cut the bird's mouth out, and that's as strong as that board's ever going to be, is right there, whatever that distance is. And this roof has equal pitches on these sides, so the hip comes to the true corner. If I was to make this, let's do that. You know what? I got 8 and 12 on the sides. Let's make this end 12 and 12. And let's just see what that does. Because you should have your hips. Yes. Oh, yeah. You see that? That's exactly. So, and here's the other thing. If you'll notice, come here. Where's that? I need to be in this window. I need this. I need this. Let's just close out of this for, well, in a minute. You'll notice that none of these rafters here are touching the wall. And why that is because this wall needs to be taller. Since it's a steeper pitch, it has to be taller. So we're going to have to highlight this wall and tell it to balloon and see if it rebuilds. No, I have to. So that's weird. Maybe I've got roof on auto rebuild. I don't have walls on auto rebuild. Let's reframe that. Hey, man.